everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Like in this rapidly evolving digital age, the intersection of human intelligence and artificial intelligence has sparked a transformative shift in the way we work. Like as organizations strive for innovation, productivity, and competitive advantages, harnessing the potential of this collaborative relationships becomes so crucial that as we navigate in this new era, it is crucial to understand how AI augment human capabilities and facilitates more efficient and intelligent decision making, like from automation and data analytics to natural language processing and predictive algorithm. AI has the capacity to tackle complex tasks and freeing up human workers to focus on higher level strategic thinking and creativity and problem solving as well. And for that, I'm thrilled to introduce our expert speaker, Anthony. Welcome, Anthony.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Perfect. He's a renowned expert in the field of finance, AI, and workforce collaboration. And to know him more, Anthony, if you can give a quick introduction of yours.
Sure, thank you. So I graduated from law school in the US. I went into the financial services industry, working with Merrill Lynch and later Morgan Stanley as a financial advisor. I was a Series 7 registered rep, so dealing with the SEC and registered investments. Simultaneously, my legal career was running alongside of my financial career, and I was with a securities law firm practicing and doing both litigation as well as some securities work as an attorney. I formed TokenWise with my partner last summer. We are an asset tokenization consultancy. So we are bringing real-world assets on chain and working with issuers and platforms in order to facilitate the process from moving from a real-world asset to an on-chain security tokenized asset. And I started looking at AI in 2017. I was giving talks and wanting to really seeing this as emerging technology as a way to enhance not only companies who were starting to make progress in the field, but also the small and medium-sized businesses, empowering them with tools to really compete at a higher level. At that point, it was not as widespread, certainly as it is and has been in the last 6 months or so, AI and personal assistants and the rest. But there was some beginnings there of the idea that we as humans will need to upskill, will need to enhance our capabilities, and that I had some early signs of that in 2017, and really not until recent times really seeing that come to fruition. And it's just such a thrilling time and an exciting time to be alive, both as a business owner as well as an individual.
Exactly, and quite impressive. I've done a lot of things, very interesting. And so without further ado, I guess let's dive into the future where productivity and innovations reach new height, and let's begin the webinar.
Very good. Very good. May I share my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I mean, for this to be more of a discussion for us, so please jump in. But we are speaking about how human beings and the technology they created intersect, and what that means for us, not only in the workforce but beyond, but specifically, how do we train the tools that we've created to assist us and to make us more productive? Let's dive right in here. So we see rapid advancement of AI, increasing integration into the workforce. So let's dive into this collaboration to see how we can increase productivity, how we can maximize efficiency, leaving tasks to the AI that are what it's designed for, and then retaining tasks as human beings, that which we can't delegate out for a machine to process and to come up with solutions, we retain as humans. Let me say it here. So imagine a collaborative future, right? Technology empowering human potential, transformational partnerships between human beings and AI, and embracing the shared future and expanding the possibilities, right? So much is at stake here. I think everybody on this panel or on this webinar would agree that the world is a different place than it was even just 6 months ago, now that these tools have been made possible through an open source platform. And, let's see how this really will dive in and enhance, our roles and our respective careers. So we're seeing advances in healthcare, finance, transportation, right? Every aspect of business, and we're soon seeing every aspect of human interactions are now being assisted with a co-pilot or some type of chatbot that may be knowledgeable in a specific field, or help us to get some answers that we're looking for. I'll speak more on that in my legal practice. There's a AI assisted programs that help me with my legal research and drafting. But looking at this in healthcare, we've heard of protein folding, the idea that only 1 or 2 human beings on the planet were able to do these the most complex of tasks and fold proteins. Now we're seeing machine learning just tackle this task with efficiency. And we're starting to see, massive amounts of information be processed, and that will lead to shorter timeframes for medicine coming to market, for new research being able to be deployed in a testable way that's simulated in a model environment before being tested on humans. And so we're seeing massive advancement in the healthcare field. And during the pandemic, there was an emergency need for the cure, right, for the vaccine. So we saw this heightened way, this increased schedule for that drug to come to market. But a lot of that was, yes, we need it, and the politicians allowed for that to come to market in a very quick and efficient way. Maybe not so efficient as we saw, but there was questions as to, is it rushed? But we weren't, not many of us were aware that algorithms were being used to speed the development of the vaccines to get them to market into people's hands and arms in order to provide the vaccine against further harm. In finance, we're seeing many different models being used both on Wall Street and within insurance companies, for example, in doing risk analysis, fraud detection from a cybersecurity standpoint. In my field, we're seeing banks apply fintech products and to tokenization and other products that they're doing, other processes that they're using. So we're really seeing it touch across these various industries. Of course, in manufacturing, AI is instructing the RPA, and so it's a way to maximize the efficiencies of the machines, which are already working in a very efficient way. We spoke about chatbots and customer service, sentiment analysis. So that is using tools to be able to understand and interpret human interactions. Certainly when we're presenting, giving conferences, for example, as I'm doing today, I'm not using a sentiment meter, but I would engage my audience, let's say in a more interactive format, and say like, okay, am I connecting? Am I working with my audience in a way that they're understanding, that they're able to interact? And so I know this is more of a presentation, but that is certainly available and a great use case. Can't leave out autonomous vehicles. obstacles, right? So the idea that optical sensors are allowing the computer to see the road, what's out there in front of it, see obstacles, make decisions in real time, and life-saving decisions, and also difficult decisions that from a moral standpoint, we'd like to see human involvement, and we are seeing that in training the models in order to increase the likelihood that we will have autonomous vehicles, which many believe, and science has shown that is a safer alternative than human operators of very complex and dangerous machines like a large vehicle or airplane or eVTOL. We'll see automated machines, automated autonomous machines operating and taking the human element out of it, but having, as we see now in the airline industry, a co-pilot, but then a human operator behind the controls in case of an emergency or a perceived a threat that is not responded to appropriately by the machine itself. Move on here. So we're seeing what we're seeing is a paradigm shift, right? Thomas Cooney coined that term in his book, the Science of Scientific Revolutions, and the idea that we're with this collective intelligence that we have now, we're moving to a new reality. And that reality has culminated from many years of getting to this point, but we've reached that tipping point. And now that AI has been made available through an open source to the masses, we can see how quickly it's spread throughout society, and it's integrated itself into most, if not all, of our lives already, either actively in tools that we're using ourselves or passively through, things that are operating in the background that will predict things for us. And in many cases, social media advertising is using the algorithms to predict our behaviors. And so that is from the company standpoint, driving revenue, and from an individual standpoint, having a connection with the companies that they like shopping with. And so it's building customer loyalty, it's recommending products that folks might be interested and would be aligned with the the types of things that they've been interested in the past. So this shift is happening. I think it's one of the quicker shifts that have happened throughout human history, if not the quickest, and in the most widespread and impactful way, because we are now becoming integrated as a society globally through the use of the internet, and now through this distributed ledger technology and blockchain, and how transparent the data is becoming, how widespread it's becoming, and now having the tools to be able to analyze and process and access that data in ways that help us, for whatever need that we're looking to do. Let me shift in here. So you see benefits of collaboration, of course, enhanced efficiency, improved productivity. Right. Increased accuracy. We're seeing these large language models where the models might be predictive and not be 100% accurate. When it's a mathematically derived, or when it is like in a protein fold example, we're seeing much more increase in accuracy versus a human counterpart without the assistance of AI. Scalability and flexibility, certainly doing and being more productive than we ever were able to be in the past, in terms of being able to analyze text, being able to create ideas from images, or images from text and ideas itself, using generative AI tools. So we're just seeing a massive amount of benefits by using these technologies. Shaping a collaborative future here. I see I see sorry, Khalid, I see a question here. and probably when I was speaking about the legal tools. So I'll just do a brief answer to that and jump back in. So Khalid asks, hi, Anthony, what kind of tools do you use for your legal work? Can you elaborate? So sure, I'm in a beta version of a legal software, legal AI Copilot. So I'm able to import a document and have AI scan it in almost an instant way and provide feedback as to what are some of the talking points that I might have with my clients, what are some, if it's a contract or another document between individuals or between companies, then what from the standpoint of the company, what is in their best interest to argue, from the standpoint of the customer, what's in their best interest. And so I'm able to look at things in multiple ways, multiple angles, and see what might be best for the party I'm representing, and that's just scratching the surface of it. But it's just enhanced my ability as a lawyer to work with my clients and to provide them with the best care possible, because I have an expert on my team now in AI and can once verifying the information it's providing can be an incredibly resourceful tool for me and many professionals across many different fields to be able to provide better care and all the advantages, more accurate, analyzing data more efficiently, and all of those things apply even in the professional setting. Jumping back into the talk here, so shaping a collaborative future together. What's our relationship with technology? Perceptions, interactions about technology. Certainly with that paradigm shift that's come a changing in our ideas and in our just understanding of what is actually possible, but we've also seen some pushback. Many people don't want to see machines having more involvement, more decision-making in their lives or in society at large. Many people fear it. There may be a catastrophic outcome from allowing machines to be advancing at the pace that they have. Many argue towards an artificial general intelligence that would then become sentient, and some fears of catastrophic outcomes for humankind. Okay, that's one interpretation. That's one possibility out of many. I don't personally feel that way, but I've been looking at this field for many years and don't see that destructive nature. I see the constructive nature, and that's really what's just fueling me and driving my passion to dive into this even further and use it on a daily basis in my both personal and professional life. So but we do need to be conscious of it. We do need to give everyone a voice to be able to express their relationship with technology, as well as some of their fears, in order to address their fears and then help them to overcome them as we're moving forward. Jump back in here. So again, embracing the collaborative future, right? The transformative potential of the information age. We saw the transformative potential of the industrial age and where we are today with both manufacturing as well as supply chain, getting food out to hard to reach places, bringing workers from the farms into the factories, and it just transformed this planet. And we've been able to advance to where we are today because of that transformation. Now, since the dawn of the information age and how that revolutionized society, now we're seeing another leap forward. And so this is a very exciting and admittedly at times a very scary new possibility, but it's also something that is very exciting as well. And the future work, how does that work for all of us? So I mentioned how I'm using AI in my role, but we've seen that in with companies using AI to process resumes, right? So it's intake, it's understanding, what the needs of the organization are, what the capabilities of the applicants are, and then aligning the most appropriate candidates with the role that's been opened up in order to make that the job searching and career matching possibility much more efficient than it has been in the past. This idea of lifelong learning and upskilling, that's what really drove me in 2017 in creating my own talks, in that seeing the writing on the wall that, many jobs will be displaced through the use of technology. Back then it was more the robotic process automation and the idea that, machines are doing my job, and so I'm going to lose that to a robot. If I'm a factory worker, robots have been used on factory lines for years, but now as they were becoming more prevalent or, being integrated into software, it's like, this is causing alarm in some cases for some industries. Yet, as we are seeing that, yes, AI displaces some careers, some jobs that have been done by humans in the past, but it's also opening up a tremendous amount of new work for humans to then upskill themselves, not to a computer science degree in many cases, but utilizing the technology and utilizing other skill sets that are learnable in order to interact with the technology in a different way that they have in the past, because it just wasn't available, right? So that idea of we're on this constant journey of evolving and of bettering ourselves and becoming more intelligent and being able to utilize tools to enhance our productivity. That's the time we're in now, and that's where I'm a student of life and have been in school for many years, and this idea of increasing my knowledge and a new skill set has been a part of my DNA forever. But I think more people are coming to the table now and saying, like, yes, this is possible for me too. And so that's such an exciting time to be alive, and giving people hope and possibilities for anything that they want to create for themselves and their future. Again, ethical considerations, we want to make sure that checks are in place. I think the organizations that are looking to regulate, AI, governments that are looking to monitor this and its access to its citizens, right? These are something that we're all needing to understand. And of course, here in the U.S., we don't have a restriction on, constraints on as some other countries across the world on using AI or our utilization of it, but certainly that is a factor that needs to be considered and needs to be, I believe, solved on a more than just a country by country basis, given the global implications of where we are today in society, as well as ethical considerations of the machines themselves as they move towards what some might consider a sentient or as intelligent as a human being. We have issues like, are these AIs intelligent, or do they have feelings? Do they have rights? Right. So these are things that are being tackled in the political and legal arena, and will become more of an issue or a topic of conversation in the future. So that both the ethical implications of, as I mentioned, job displacements, and which citizens of the world have access versus others, and what type of access do they have, as well as looking at it from the standpoint of, are we now going to give rights to machines as they become more intelligent, if not more intelligent than humans themselves? And so that's been talked about in the past, and that will come, I think, more into light in the future, in the near future as well. Yeah. It's fostering collaboration, business applications in robotic process automation, in driving large data sets, in being the analytical tool for businesses to use to really dive in and pick apart their organizations to see where their strengths and weaknesses lie. This is just all possible now in a way that I've just never seen possible before, and many businesses are exploring this and having their teams work on these different tools in order to really open up new avenues of toward revenue, or developing new products to go to market and being able to test that before going into either a manufacturing or development process, and then going to market. They can run simulations, run tests, run beta groups, and drive it from a more of a modeling standpoint than an actual trial and error standpoint, by manufacturing something in real life in order to bring to market. I mentioned the AI use for professionals that in my legal field, but certainly the medical profession. We're hearing about doctors having a medical AI co-pilot, surgeons right alongside them. We're seeing machines perform surgeries, but in terms of the diagnostic setting where things have been brought to light by the AI that might have been missed by doctors, even several doctors that are experts in their field, that in a quick scan of the patient's vitals, it can say, like, here's some likely outcomes, and that is just enhancing the medical profession in a way that we've never seen before, and will lead to new discoveries, both for medicine and individual healthcare, as well as on a global basis, eradicating some widespread diseases or we may see are possible as we're using the new technologies to attack some global issues. Let me just jump into the questions here. Okay. Mirella asks, bringing up social media algorithms, good example of ethically questioning manipulation. High efficiencies, certainly process created by automation, speed up product production is positive. All right, so the question is, what are the endeavors to create terms of collaborations? Efficiencies and manipulations are two sides of this evolution, she asked. What are your thoughts on that, and who would own the AI tools, who have access to ownership of that data? Right, these are excellent questions, and this is what we're all looking for in terms of answers today, right? So let me take that one at a time. Terms of collaboration, right? So creating parameters around what functions the human members of a team might perform versus the artificial intelligent members of that same team, right? So what tasks would be delegated to which, who would have oversight to say, the final decision making? Would that lie in a human? Would that lie in the AI? Would there be a question if it is involving a product or service that's in the hands of many humans? Does that change the question or the response? Think about certainly flying a commercial airline. Do we allow AI to do something like that when human lives are at stake, or do we feel more comfortable at this stage, while things are still being proven, to leave those controls in the hand of a human operator that has many years of experience and is tested and vetted and verified by their regulatory authority? So there are no answers at this point, only questions. So I'm sorry to answer your questions with more questions, but I think it's right on it. And then let me address the last questions here that you had mentioned also, who would own the AI tools, what access to the ownership. Yeah, so that is, does it remain open source in many instances, or are we going to see some companies developing their own AIs that are not for public use but more internal? And that is certainly they're owning that, but then what checks do we have as society if things are being built in private and being used in that sense versus having it be more open and out in the public and transparent? So jump back into the slides here, but thank you for your questions. And we'll have time for questions at the end here. Yeah, the practical implications, equipping workers with tools, right? And let's see here. Embracing the collaborative workforce, right? Future-proofing careers through learning. That's the idea of upskilling. And also, you know, what you may have redoing in your role today may be applicable to careers, jobs in the future. And it's a matter of understanding how to analyze and break down each function of what it is that you're doing now in order to see how it might be applicable to a job of the future. Certainly, customer service as an example, the chatbots have come in to provide that role and displace many customer service workers in terms of call centers, or they've moved to automated response in many cases. So those folks that were displaced, you know, they were able to interact with other human beings in an empathetic and understanding way in order to solve their problems. And that those skills can be applied in many different settings, connection and creativity and marketing and you know, driving products to market that, you know, might have been from an observation only standpoint as the customer service provider. And now that person might be able to say, well, I can take a different role because now that function might be left to an AI, but now I have the ability to apply my human capabilities in a different role in a way that I haven't seen capable of doing so in the past. And we can use AI to help us to retool our resumes in order to highlight the facts and expand on the facts of our work experience to help us to position ourselves for these new roles. So there's ways of utilizing and of enhancing the way in which we communicate our capabilities to employers and to our customers, if we're business owners, in a way that we just haven't seen at all in the past. Let's see here. Risks of advanced AI, I think I mentioned that earlier: responsible development, collaboration, ethics, AI benefits, right, and minimizing the risks. And that's done through regulation, but really I think an overall user experience, right? This is the case where, you know, I've heard it explained, large language models are like children. They are there they want our approval. They're happy when they complete a task and in the way that satisfies us. And so with that spirit, as the users, are we educating the tools to better serve us, just as we you know, might educate a child to be a better individual, to be a you know, to make the right decisions, to be the human being that we would hope for them to be when they grow up. Well, that's the same approach with AI. We have that capability now to speak with and talk and instruct and mold and shape in a way that we may be able to leave behind some of the issues of the past that humanity has, because now it's a fresh start for all of us to move forward and to be more inclusive and to be more understanding that we have many more similarities as human beings across all races and creeds than we've thought in the past, and now it's really being brought to light. So probably a topic for and that we can expand on and speak on more, but I'll certainly leave time for questions and move forward now on the slides. Risk of responsible development, right? Rethinking intelligence, our existence and coexistence with AI, and the harmonious future of collaboration. I think, you know, throughout I've given examples and really shown how this is a chance to utilize technology in a way that is different from how we've used in the past. Certainly using a spreadsheet versus a pen and paper to create a ledger or some kind of record system, yes, that's a much more efficient way. Doing math on paper versus math on a calculator, right? These are advancements that are clearly, in terms of speed, efficiency, accuracy, right? This is just, simple machines that have been able to enhance our lives. Now we have a predictive machine. Now we have a machine that is analyzing possibilities and creating scenarios that it sees from that pattern recognition and can present that in a way for us to now make new decisions. And in business, making the right decision is debated in boardrooms, and now it's something that with intelligent feedback, with analysis of large data sets, we could move towards those business and personal decisions with greater speed and with increased confidence that what we're doing is likely the right decision, the right choice. Ethical collaboration, as I mentioned, transparency, accountability, continuous monitoring and evaluation. Certainly, this is a burgeoning field. We're just seeing OpenAI come to market and be usable by society at large. We're seeing iterations of that, GPT-3 to GPT-4. There's talk of GPT-5, and eventually there's 6, 7, etc. So the capabilities will compound and expand and exponentially grow. And so how, as society, do we evaluate that? How do we monitor that? How do we regulate that as governments? How do we interact with that as humans? Is it more decision-making being left to the machines because they're becoming more capable? And then, or do we say from now, like, even the capabilities may arrive on the scene, we're going to retain that as a human function because we as society decide that is a role that should be left for humans versus one for machines. So we're going to be ongoing this discussion. That's why I encourage questions, and as well as people to enter into debates about this, because this will help guide the future for all of us. And so we are doing better by ourselves to come together and discuss these as well. Here's some real life models, right, and examples from the business world, and then we'll, I believe, jump into a question and answer session. IBM's Watson Health platform, right, used by doctors to make better decisions about patient care, right? So this is the large language model that is assisting doctors and helping the pharmaceutical companies to evaluate new medicines, get them to market quicker, right? So this is in the medical field, we're just seeing breakthroughs in all aspects of patient care, as well as research and development. The GE's platform, AI's monitor and predict equipment failures, right? Many of us are using Alexa and Google in the home. All right. So chatbots providing customer service, we're going to see the evolution of these chatbots to go beyond setting reminders or even ordering products through a voice prompt, to a more of an interactive co-pilot or assistant that might be present on all of our devices, or even new devices, a wearable or so, that is listening to our conversations and then can provide real-time insights to be able to help us make more informed decisions as we're moving about our lives. My partner worked at BlackRock, and the Aladdin platform that she was introduced to there was in fintech, was what drove her to fall in love with the technological applications in business. And we are certainly seeing investment companies, banks, and businesses themselves, utilize these tools to help them predict different outcomes for business that weren't available to businesses in the past at this scale. Adaptive learning platforms for student needs, the Newton program. So there's just no field now that's not being able to be touched by this technology, and we're just going to see new use cases and new applications and more nuanced applications as things start to develop, in the coming months here. That is the end of the presentation. I'll leave this screen up for information and questions.
And
Let me turn it back. Yes, thank
yeah.
you.
Love
All
the
right.
presentation, Anthony. Like when you said the collaboration between humans and AI, like it's inspiring us to embrace the future of work with optimism and adaptability. I absolutely agree with that statement. Like it was an enlightening and captivating session for us. I hope the audience must have enjoyed it too as much as I did. And when we were talking about the data ownership of data, there was a
Yes.
question which I think one of our attendees have asked. I
Yes.
think when it comes to ownership of AI tools and data, like it's complex and evolving area right now as well. So ideally, a balance must be struck to ensure responsible steps towards the AI tool and equitable access to their benefits, like the ownership of control of data and to train the AI models should be also addressed and aiming for transparency, privacy protection, and fair data to usage the practices as you mentioned as well. I completely agree to that as well. So moving on to the question rounds that
Okay.
the attendees have asked, like the first question is, in what ways can humans and AI collaborate to achieve greater productivity and efficiency in the workplace?
Yeah, sure. So I think there's a shifting of roles and a division of tasks. So AI is so great at analyzing data, taking massive data sets and coming up with predictions and solutions based on that data in ways that are just not possible for a human to comprehend or do at scale and at speed, right? But humans are offering creative and strategic capabilities, that problem-solving abilities that AI is commenting that it's jealous of us, right? So I think this collaborative effort of if we had certainly a data scientist as part of our team, I'm not a data scientist, and so I wouldn't want to take on the task that individual would do. And so now it's not an individual, it's an artificial intelligence. And so why would I try and take away something that it can do? And in the same way, why would I not do those human capabilities that I can do? So it's leveraging our strengths and weaknesses, and at this point, coming to an idea of which tasks will be delegated to whom, and moving forward that way.
Yes, completely agree to that. And I think, as I said earlier, like AI can automate its repetitive and mundane tasks, and it can free up the human workers to focus on higher level strategic thinking and complex problem solving tasks as well.
Yes.
Like by combining human creativity and critical thinking, the intuition with AI speed and computational power, organization can unlock new level of efficiencies and productivity in the modern workplace nowadays. That would like
Excellent.
help us a lot as well. Moving on
Yes.
to the next question, like
Sure.
how can organizations strike the right balance between human creativity and AI automation to foster innovation?
Sure. Yeah, I think we touched on it. I think that clear division of roles. It's I think we're able to, as companies and as organizations now, there's more opportunity for everybody to be heard, because we're saving in productivity times, we're saving in efficiency. So now the idea of having too much input is now becoming a thing of the past. So every worker, every individual, every employee or business company member can come and provide that solution, because now if they have an idea, if they have a creative solution to a problem, because now that data can be shared, that data can be analyzed, we can come to quicker solutions by using an AI assistant to help us, process that. And so that's one way for us to have our large organizations even operating as a single unit in thought and in direction. And so this is now an exciting time and an evolution for organizations as a whole.
Exactly. Like now giving the prompt and getting all the solution is now the era. So talking about the innovation, it leads to my next question. Like how can AI be leveraged to enhance human training, the employee training and the development programs?
Sure. I know that let's take an example like giving a speech. Okay, a real case here, right? So I'm giving a presentation, right? I'm not using the tools at the moment, but there are, let's say in my training or my practice, there are AI tools that I can pop up, and that as I'm giving my presentation, my talk in real time, it could monitor and say like, okay, there's a certain amount of monotone, or there's a lack of engagement because there's not enough question answer, right? So it's this idea that I can have real-time feedback and adjustments in my practice mode in a way, in my training mode, so that when I go into a real-life situation, I'm prepared, I'm better able to handle it. I know my weaknesses and can work on those, as well as enhance the strengths that are being presented to me. And getting those green check marks or thumbs up always feels like you're making progress. And so it's just a way for us to really upskill ourselves and bring ourselves, and as a company, bring everyone to a higher standard in order to interact with their customers. And so that's it is very exciting.
That's so. And adding on to that, I think AI can also like facilitate training by experiencing through virtual reality sessions as well. Like leveraging AI organization can create like more efficient, engaging and personalized training programs that can help employ to skill and knowledge, and overall professional development would be like quite helpful for them. Like virtual reality is really great nowadays. That leads to my next question. Like
Sure.
what are the potential risks and challenges of humans and AI working together? Like it's a big threat nowadays, people are thinking, and how can be mitigated?
Yes. Yeah, I think we spoke earlier, job displacement is a potential risk, right? Uh, in the in many different fields, like I'll take the legal field, right? So we're seeing many functions that were done by paralegals or legal assistants in the past becoming automated, and now that legal assistant is finding it harder to find work out there, right? So what is it that they can do? Do they, many attorneys as well, right? Things are being automated away from all of the professions, not only blue collar workers, white collar workers as well, right? So how can we utilize the tools, but also what ways can we enhance our own skill sets? Might be new certifications, might be new education to get us to the point where we're now meeting the new demands of the workforce. But it's also we can mitigate the risk to ourselves individually as workers, as business owners, by diving in and utilizing the tools and seeing what's available, and then being able to better serve our customers, better serve our organizations through the use of that to remain relevant. And I think that's the most important thing, is that we if we're performing a function, I believe Jack Ma said, if a machine can do it, it will, and it will do it better than a human at some point, right? So leaving the tasks for the machines that it can do better and will do better because of the sheer processing power and intelligence that we're seeing in these use cases for AI, and then leaving those tasks that that only humans can do, and at least now, and really diving into that and enhancing our capabilities to be that creative problem solver and think bigger, and not keep it as a maybe in the small way that we've done because it's manageable and we could probably get there in a year or two, but thinking bigger because the possibilities for speeding towards discoveries and solutions are now present and available for all of us.
Exactly. And with the legal assistant, I think the one risk that you have recently talked about is the overpower of AI. Like, I agree to that. Like, one risk is over reliance on AI. It can
Mm,
like lead to decreased human decision making and critical thinking. Like, other challenges includes like biased AI algorithms and concerned about job displacement. I think these to mitigate these risks, organization should promote AI transparency and accountability, and like regularly audit the AI system for biases and provide ongoing training for employee to adapt these AI technologies. Like, it will quite help a lot to like not to overpower the AI. That leads
definitely.
to my next question,
Sure.
which is, okay, what are the key factors to consider when designing AI system to complement and augment human decision making?
Mm. Uh, sure. I think I think it's a trust factor, and that's probably what, why there's been some resistance to a more widespread adoption, or why we hear in the news, the pushback coming from governments, or should we regulate this, et cetera. It's a trust thing. It's what's inside the black box that is spitting out these answers, right? So I think as we're diving into this more, as we're understanding this, I'm listening to podcasts every day about experts in the field talking about this, where they see things going. Educating yourselves will lead to better understanding, will lead to adoption at a more widespread basis, because it's this idea of trust, of fairness, of accountability, of, as you said, decision making. Should that be, left in others' hands, right? So we're moving towards this understanding of what just happened to this planet, right? Just a few months ago, and how does this new capability benefit us all, right? So I think we need much more discussion around that area, certainly. But yeah, we want to have some guidelines in place for sure as we start to expand the uses and allow AI more into our lives and into our society.
Agree. Beautifully answered. Like, discussion should be there around, and continuous monitoring and feedback loops allow for refinement and improvement of AI systems over time. So aligning them with evolving human needs and preferences would also like help us a lot in the deal. That human needs and preferences, that comes to my breaking down language barriers. So the question
Hmm.
is, how can AI help in breaking down language barriers and improving communication among diverse team?
Wow, I mean, we've seen even early use cases for AI in language translation. So people from different parts of the world can speak to each other through their device, or through an AI translator that in real time can at some point very soon. At the time it was a delay, but now we're going to see in more real time, where we can have the language barrier just broken down, and we can communicate on a global basis with everyone. I believe now they've mapped out 4,000 languages across the globe, and that's data. That data can be processed, that can be put into usable formats, and then we can see that this technology in our hands, I mean, very soon, in many cases now, and now we can communicate with each other. Super excited about that as well. There's the component of speaking with with machines itself, right? So what is that, dealing with code, right? So I'm not a coder myself, but being able to tell my developers exactly what it is I need for my business application, that is a communication as well. Even if we're speaking the same language, there's not necessarily an understanding. So in the instance of when I'm creating a technological product, I have to ensure that my vision is going to be created in a usable way, in the way that I've intended. And so my communication with my development team, which is then communicating with the computer code, and now we're seeing, AI writing code. And so it's just this collaborative effort to bring us all forward towards that goal. So I think we're just going to see all communication barriers, just fade away into the distance, become a thing of the past as we become this truly global citizenry, and working with AI is going to help us get there even quicker.
Yes, exactly. I think also enabling team members to communicate effectively, it can like help
Mm.
us a lot. And
Yes. Yeah.
also talking about the natural language processing technologies, it can like assist in language understanding, sentiment analysis, which is quite important, and contextual comprehension as well, like promoting better collaboration and fostering inclusivity within the diverse teams, as you mentioned.
Mm.
Completely sticking to that. And that leads to my next question, like
Sure.
what role does trust play in collaborative relationship between humans and AI can play, and how it can be fostered?
Yeah. We spoke about trust earlier. I think, blockchain comes to mind. Don't trust, verify, right? It's so verify the information, and that will help to build trust. Because when I'm, for example, using AI in legal research, or when I'm thinking about a particular issue, one of the checks that I've put in place is that I won't ask only one AI source. I'm asking multiple sources to see what answers are given and what explanations are giving. Some of the AI is crawling the web in real time, and so it's bringing me back sources so that I can go out myself and cross check. So there's this idea that, okay, there's no need to trust if we verify the information, and by verifying the information, that actually fosters trust. And then there's this collaborative team effort that gets built on that. So it's you don't have to dive in all at once and just okay, I trust it because people tell me so. It's you can really verify this and experiment and explore this for yourself and get to that building that trust on your own.
Yes, I think the transparency of AI. Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
yes. That comes to my last question. Like,
Sure.
what are some successful examples of organization that effectively harnessing the power of collaborative workforce, and what lessons can we learn from them?
Yeah, I think when companies are using this well, and some of the studies that I've read, they're creating interactive experiences, interactive workshops, real life scenarios. So they're having teams, form around a particular task or issue, having AI assist them, and then collaborating together to solve that problem. So I think it's this experimentation and using and coming up with some solutions that then it's like, well, that's not quite the answer. Let's re-engineer our prompting to then achieve a different result, or get a more accurate, a more nuanced approach to the issue that we're looking to solve. So I think that learning and appreciation by doing is all a part of this, and as well as building the trust in the systems, and as well as seeing more widespread adoption. So
Right. Like if even if we see the real life examples, the companies like Amazon and Netflix use AI algorithms to like personalize customer experiences and enhance recommendation. Like lesson learned from these success stories include the importance of combining human expertise with AI capabilities, and maintaining a refining algorithm based on users' feedback, like how we get the 5-star and the recommendation on the Netflix, which is
Yes.
good, and the flexibility and adaptability to embrace the change, like also the key lessons for organization looking for a leverage the collaborative potential of humans and AI. Like that was also great. So that comes to an end. Okay.
Wow,
Perfect.
that went quick.
So thank you so much, Anthony, for sharing your expertise and invaluable insights. Like the discussion we had today has shed the light on the immense potential that lies within the synergy between humans and AI, and emphasizing the importance of collaboration and mutual understanding. And as we move forward, it is like essential to continue fostering a culture of collaboration, which would be like really helpful for us as well. And thank you to our lovely audience for joining us today. We hope this webinar has provided you a deeper understanding of the collaborative workforce and inspired you to work together. And also remember, guys, the future of work is not about humans versus machine. It is about humans and machine, like collaborating to create a better tomorrow. So thank you for being part of this insightful discussion, and we look forward seeing you in the future webinars exploring the frontiers of technologies and human potential. And thank you so much, Anthony, for taking out the time, and it
Thank you as
was
well. Yeah.
lovely.
And if folks have questions, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn. They can email me at contact@tokenwise.co, and someone will get back to them. So this is again, this is to lead by example, and to, we're collaborating and we're in very different time zones right now, and I appreciate your team working through the night and me working through the day to make sure that we're coming together on this very important topic and addressing this so that our audience can benefit by this talk. I look forward to working with you and collaborating with you again. It's been a wonderful experience, and that very positive about the future, and seeing how we can all benefit by the use of this technology. So I thank you again.
Lovely. For sure, we'll love to collaborate with you. Love to.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you so much. Bye.